How about those Blue Boys? Hey? How about those Blue Boys? I'm so excited to be doing this right now. Footy's a funny, wacky game. The emotions of this game and the way that the results can go either way. Throughout the week, I think for me, I had no faith. Honestly, I had no faith. I usually by Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm ready to start making a case for whoever we're playing against, and it's been that way for years, for as long as I can remember. But for some reason, there was just a feeling of unease and unrest when I thought about the prospect of going to Geelong and playing them there. And I look back at last week, and a lot of disappointment, and it came from probably because for me personally, I know how talented this group is in what I'm seeing. And I just felt like the intensity and the effort wasn't matching the talent. And obviously combine that with the emotions of not having footy. I think it spilled over a little bit last week. So that's not something that I would like to be doing every week. That's not something I enjoy doing. I don't want to be criticising, and I don't want to be spilling the emotions out like that. I think I want to have a level head at most times. But enough about that. Let's talk about last night. Let's talk about the Blues last night. It was everything we wanted. Is it a club defining win? I don't know. We don't know yet. But it's one of those historical wins. It sits there with that Freo game last year. It sits there with the GWS game in 2017, and I'm using it relative to this group, this rebuild. It's one of the famous wins with this group. I've watched it again, got up nice and early to watch it again, and that's all you can ask for from your group. There were elements of the way we played last night which were expected in the way that we attacked the ball, in the way that we brought the pressure. But there were also elements of the way we played in that first half particularly, which I haven't seen them play like that before. I haven't seen the foot skills like that. Where was that? Where did that come from? I think we took, it was 84 marks for the game. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing the stat being 71 marks in the first half. And it's just not something I've seen them do before. Short kicking worked, long kicking worked, the contested marks were up. It was now, what I'd like to understand is, how do we bottle that? How do we use that and move forward? Is that going to be, the win for this group that helps us move forward and really grow? I hope it is. I think it is. As far as I'm concerned, that's a club-defining win right there. And, there were obviously our best players, but for me, there was an even spread. There weren't too many. There were standouts, but everyone played their role. Obviously, I'll get to the players in the player ratings video, but what else can I say? I'm so proud. I'm so happy. I'm so proud of them, and I think that's what we were just yearning for. Now, there is a case to be made that hey, we ended up coughing up a 42-point lead, but for me, I was happy that Geelong came back and made a game of it, because I felt like we needed that. It was an extra opportunity to test ourselves and our resolve. And I don't know if you subscribe to the footy gods theory, but last week I kind of felt like the footy gods gave us what we deserved. And last night, there was about a minute to go. It was all in. Everything was happening, and I had this sense of calm. Like, hang on, I genuinely felt like we had done enough in the first 3.5 quarters or whatever it was to win the game. I thought we deserved to win the game, and so I took comfort in that. And if there's one thing I've realised watching them last night, whether this is something we want to address at the end of the year, whether this is something that's going to sort of come from within, we need some experience in winning. Obviously, it goes without saying. But what I mean by that is we need players who can, when the heat's on, they know exactly what to do and when to do it. Guys like Selwood, you just know he knows what to do in those crunch moments. Eddie's tackle last night, that's what you bring him in for. He's the experienced head that's going to step up when required. We've obviously got a younger leadership sort of brigade compared to the rest of the league. But to have a guy like Eddie that can come in and do that, to have a guy like, I thought Levi stood up late in that game as well. He stood up all game, but I think we definitely, there's something lacking there, and whether it's premiership experience or whatever it is, I think there's something to explore there. We obviously don't want to be coughing up 42-point leads, but at the same time, Geelong had to come at some point. That's an extremely tough game to win last night. So, I was at a birthday yesterday. Went early. I left so I could come home and watch the game, and it sort of, there was this sense of, all right, Tez, I'll see you later, when you've lost by 10 goals. And, walking back and, going back and having that strut and that happiness. And, obviously we all want to win. And so it's not just, a Carlton thing. But, yeah, I think the overall sense is one of pride. And, this is why we watch footy. This is why we barrack, because obviously you never know. It could be your game on any given day, and that's that. I mean, I love this footy club. We all love this footy club. We all barrack in our own funny way, and we get rewarded as supporters. Last night, and as the players, they get rewarded. You could tell maybe they ran out of juice a little bit, but I was watching last week. I was watching North Melbourne and GWS, and the commentators were, in that third quarter, they were talking about, when is this North Melbourne lapse going to come, and when are they going to fall away? And Dermot Brereton made a very interesting comment about, when you are emotionally invested in a game, it's hard to get you out of it. And I felt like we really, really invested in that game emotionally. We were in it. I didn't feel like we were going to let it slip away. Obviously, it was very tight at the end, but we were always going to be there. And that was, the proof was in the pudding last night. There's a few cult heroes to come out of this. A few individuals that really, really impressed me. I loved Mark Pittonet's game. I think we've got, I don't know, is he going to be the next cult hero? Who knows? It's 2 games in. It's a small sample size. We obviously know what's happening with Essendon, and we there's a sense of there might not be a game next week. So there's a little bit of that as well. And it was a bit of a flat day yesterday, but to have that happen last night, to have something to be proud of is worth it. So anyway, that's my summary of the game. That's how I see it. But what about you? What did you see? Game style, whatever the case may be. Who are your best players? I saw a lot of the usual suspects pop up last night, the Crippses, the Dohertys. I genuinely thought Pittonet was our best player last night. He brought an energy and an intensity and a competitiveness that just rubbed off on everyone. And he brought that toughness. He wanted to get into blokes, and he wanted to start a bit of a biffo, and he sort of stood tall, and it allowed guys next to him to stand a little taller. Didn't have to be Cripps to be the enforcer. Saw Jack Silvani do things like that last night as well. So yeah, let me know what you think. I'm really excited to see how this goes and how this discussion evolves from last week. And obviously we want to look at areas to improve. So what are you seeing there as well? Let me know in the comments below.